Hello, hello, hello. It is half an hour after midnight, Tuesday morning, the 21st of November, 2023. Just gotten off work. And I am once again reminded of the nature of the game that we are playing. Now, today I had a very powerful and important experience, and I stand by it. But it was very much individual perspective truth. Um, it was not universal truth that I was experiencing. It was very, very much humanity. It was very much personality. It was very much in form. And so I wrote a thing and I posted it to Facebook, which was pretty much unlike anything I've ever written because I have been identified as a happy person. Um, Pretty much ever since I stopped being identified as an angry person, which was, I don't know, a good 16 years ago. Um, and I've been pushing happiness. Happiness is a choice, and there's a lot to that. There's a lot to that. But the denial of any aspect and the resistance to any experience is suffering. And so today I had a breakthrough. And today I was sad. And it's not something, I mean, yeah, I have a practice. And so, like, when the fruits come along, it feels like, um, you know, feels like something I've done. But in the same way, like, I watered the apple tree and an apple grew. It wasn't like I fucking grew an apple. Um, so in that sense, it was something, I cultivated the environment in which this could happen. Um, but I didn't do it. It's the interesting thing about surrender. It doesn't seem to be something that you can do on purpose. Um, so today just so happened to unfold naturally that I was sad and I was okay. Um, I just didn't care to try to not be sad. I just didn't care to try to raise my vibration or to try to choose happiness. I was like, no, I'm sad. I'm a sad person. I like sad music. I like sad television shows. I like sad movies. Um, Feeling sad doesn't feel like suffering to me. Like, and maybe this time of year it feels even more appropriate to be sort of mellow and lower energy. And I think that there's great beauty in sadness. And so because I had been identified as a happy person, I had to um, naturally, of course, it came about that the part of me that is a sad person needed some airtime. And I made this, I was very in it. I was very in it. And I made this statement fully identifying myself as a sad person. And I'm like, I'm a sad person and I've always been a sad person and I may always be a sad person. And while that was true, from the perspective from which I was viewing life, that was absolutely the perspective truth. However, and I stand by making that move because I needed to do that in order to release the resistance. Um, it felt so good to just be like, you know what? I don't care what anybody has to say, what society, what spiritual teachers, what you know Jocko has to say about it. If you know, I'm just I'm just sad, and I'm not in the words were what the words were, but the energy behind it was more of like a now I am no longer in resistance to being a sad person. And the interesting thing about that is and I kind of knew that this was going to happen, but I tried not to focus on it because I didn't want to be trying to escape the sadness by going through it because that subtle escapism would keep the thing from fully being what it was meant to be. And so I really needed to be in it. I really needed to really be okay with being sad if I was going to be sad forever. Of course, I know that I'm not anything forever, but I really did manage to not pay attention to the things that I know intellectually and to be like, okay, well this too shall pass, and so like I know that I won't be sad forever. Not the point. It's not the point. Don't look away. That's the point. The point is there's a thing, and you, Benjamin, you, Wolfman, think that it is better to be happy, and that's an illusion. Um, Good things and bad things are not real in the same way that like heat is real. Um, it's a subjective judgment, and nothing is good or bad until you judge it and you make it good or bad. Um, so therefore, happiness is not better than sadness, and it's one thing to know that intellectually, and then it's a whole other thing to really accept it with your entire being. And so what? So all that to say, it was very important to do what I did today. It was very important to get out of my intellect and to get out of my cosmic perspective and to really be in my individual perspective in the moment and to really just believe that, hey, I'm a sad person. My favorite song is Champagne Supernova, um, by Oasis. My favorite band is Pearl Jam, or at least it used to be. I like the sad songs. I like the sad movies like Silver Linings Playbook. Fantastic. I love that stuff. A Man Called Otto. Great. Um, but that's not the whole story. That is a form. And so, as with any form, it arises and it passes away. I am not a sad person any more than I am a happy person. I am energy. I am formless energy that can take on any form. And so, what is a sad person? It's a construct. It's a made up thing. Um, there's emotions in any given moment. There's sensations in any given moment, and to think that I am a sad person requires this whole construct of time and, the future and the past and like an average way that I feel, which none of that is real in the moment. So, am I sad right now? No, not really. I'm at peace. I feel a little bit of creative spark. Um, Very, very subtle excitement, I think, would be what I'm feeling. Peaceful, but with a slight lean towards excitement. Now, does that sound like a sad person? I don't think so. So, what I'm saying is, it was a very good move to like really feel what it's like to be a sad person, but immediately upon releasing the resistance to sadness comes the equal and opposite mistake of trying to create an identity. And I can feel myself imagining up this person who could just like go out and brood and just be sad in public so that people could see how sad I am. And I'm like, oh, he's the sad guy. He's the guy that's cool with being sad. And it doesn't jive with, the guy who laughs so hard and so uncontrollably for no reason, to the point where when you ask me to explain why I'm laughing, I'm like, I have to explain what I am and how the energy moves through me, because there isn't a joke here. There isn't a punchline. There isn't something that's going to make you laugh if I tell it to you. It's not that kind of laughter. You wouldn't think that these two people are the same person, and maybe they're not in a certain sense, but like I can form either of these patterns. And so, you know, I don't want to form this identity as a sad person either. But it was very good. It was very good to release the resistance to it and allow it to be without forming taking it as real. You don't want to resist it, and you don't want to indulge in it as if it is real and permanent. So all forms are impermanent, which is what I'm here to say, which is the place that I came to after the bit about sadness. And I think what I'm going to end up writing, because I've never articulated it before today, what I'm going to end up writing is going to end up being something about acceptance or surrender. I'm not quite sure. But I feel like I've got a whole new thing to play with here. With this idea that like the culture kind of tells us that we should be happy. And not even necessarily that we should be happy, but that if we're not happy, that there's something wrong. And I don't think that that's necessarily accurate. And so I think I will be writing something about this, but it's really not baked yet. Um, but I dip my toe into that, and then I come back around to this realization that like, oh, that's right. In order to be a sad person, you have to have a self, and you really have to be identified with that self. And so you come back around to this other perspective where I can be anything. I'm everything. I'm nothing, and I can be anything. And so that's where I'm at. And I felt the need to express it, but I didn't want to write it. So here we are, creating it as a YouTube video, and I hope that it has made sense. I think that it has. I'm on day 6 of total sobriety, which I haven't made a big deal about. um, up until this point because, I'm always going on these 100-day things, and I think I've finally figured out what it is that I actually want. I'm going to start it out with 100 days of total sobriety, no caffeine, no nicotine, no alcohol, no psychedelics, no nothing for 100 days. Pure, sober, alone for the most part, reality. And then at the end of that, we go back to moderation, but in a new way. And I think that I've really figured out. I'll just go ahead and say this isn't the point of the video, and I should wrap it up here because I've said what I'm here to say. But alcohol is poison, right? But I like it, and so I've never been able to get 100% of myself on board with the idea that I'm never going to drink again. But no amount of moderation has ever felt right until I came up with the idea that I would drink twice a year. Once on Thanksgiving, which I already do as a tradition. I always drink wild turkey on Thanksgiving, which I did early this year because I wanted to get on with it. So I just went ahead and celebrated Thanksgiving early and had my wild turkey. Um, and then St. Patty's Day, because how are you going to not drink on St. Patty's Day? So, and I go, yeah, you know what? I could drink on St. Patty's Day and Thanksgiving, and that seems like it's not going to kill me. It's not going to be deleterious to my health in any noticeable way. And it also feels like, yes, I get to have the experience of drinking alcohol, which I like occasionally without doing serious damage to my body. And I think that this is a good idea. And then, you know, whatever on all the rest of it. So the point is, I am the energy that creates worlds in the form of a sad person. And all forms arise and pass away, and I can't be a sad person all the time. So I'm quite certain that I will visit that form again and again, and I like it. I don't think there's anything wrong or unhealthy with it. But also, I'm a very joyous person, and also I'm a very happy person, and also I'm a creative person, and you know, I think for this season, what it's really going to be about for me is just accepting whatever it is. Um, I'm not interested in making things better. I'm really not interested in making things better. I'm interested in things working, which they do right now. And if I want something, if I want to make some kind of an improvement, I will, but not the way that I have been, where it's just like, we've got to fix this, we've got to make it. No, fuck that. Life is good enough. This is good enough. And yes, I will continue to make improvements, but like, when I get to it, life is good. Waking up and just having a little life that works. Sad little life that works is fine. It's good. I like it. And I'm going to rest in this for a while. Not much else to say. May your hearts be happy. May your minds be clear. May you find satisfaction in all your endeavors. May you find ultimate satisfaction. Kono ne kono yoko.